You are seeing this graph which shows the increasing trend of human life expectancy in the world. Advanced healthcare, abundant food, and improved residence hygiene are contributing humans to live longer than we ever expected. The issue of aging society takes place in the whole society, which not only limited to the topic of aged people. It has been considered negatively, such as declining GDP, high social costs, and reduced opportunities for young generations in the job market. However, everything has both sides to be discussed. The current AI has been introduced during this stage. Both China and Malaysia are facing different aging society issues, but the two countries are sharing the same SDG goals, such as good health, well-being, and reduced inequalities. It is for us to think in philosophical perspectives regarding contemporary issues in the two nations about the aging society. This also being motivated by the educational purpose of Ihsan Sejatila for the public announcement.
We actually did some research on what is the impact on China and Malaysia due to the aging society. We did multiple research on macro and micro level as well. And let's talk about China first. Firstly, the GDP was actually increasing steadily, but all of a sudden, it took a pause back in 2023 as well. It showed that there is a recession is due to that the fertility rate fell down and come right after a weak demand high debt ratio, as you can see in this graph. It's usually we say the population is the most important asset for a nation following the Western ideologies and theories. The younger the nation, the better. And let's move on to Malaysia. Malaysia was one of the tiger cub, but the increase of aging population, as you can see in this graph as well, which caused Malaysia to face a situation of weak ringgit and middle income.
The WHO identified 65 as the standards for aging society, and in 2023, society says it got about 40% aging population, like this graph. And Malaysia is being called the aging population based on the 7.4 aged people in the nation, like this graph. Next section, we're going to use the aging population to represent the two different technical pronouns for the consistency.
Currently, the trend of new family relationships that goes against the traditional hierarchical system in Chinese families is on the rise among young Chinese in China. Elders experience significant physical decline as they age, especially after COVID-19. Relying solely on government medical insurance is not enough to cover the surging medical costs, and healthcare facilities remain underdeveloped in China's rural areas, while the elderly comprise the largest demographic. Another issue is the delayed retirement age policy in China, which raises concerns about the physical difficulties and mental stress faced by Chinese elders. Employees are also encountering challenges as job positions are saturated and work tasks are overloaded.
Until 2022, many Malaysian elders has moved to cities within the development of urbanization in Malaysia. There are difficulties for elders to enjoy their life in cities. The high cost of medical care in private hospital where the most advantaged medical carriers, like this graph, and the poor condition in public transportation are the harder for elders to access health care. For transportation, even in care, the choice was not as much as suitable, especially for work slowly elders in convenience transport routes.
The financial and technology literacy of elders are becoming the most target objective for criminals. The online fraud cases are one of the most frequent in Malaysia. Another issue in Malaysia aging society related to the social wealth imbalance description. People need academic certifications to gain a satisfied job position, but the high literacy rate in Malaysia does not allow the rating to happen. It suggests there are a lot of elders who might not have good access to higher education when young, and now they are the group of low income. For people near 45 to 50, which can be saying half elder needs the most expenditures in this life stage, like this graph. Low-income elders cannot support their own life.
In Malaysia and China, the phenomenon of aging society has led to a myriad of macro and micro challenges. These include a dwindling labor supply, strain on pension fund, and imbalance in social wealth distribution. Alongside issues like cybercrime, soaring elder medical costs, and the burden faced by young adults, new opportunities may arise for tackling this complex issue. In the research objective part, for example, raise awareness about the challenges presented by aging society. And the second one is enhance understanding to prevent the isolation of older individuals in community and promote comprehensive societal planning to meet the needs of aging population and encourage public discourse and engagement. Investigate preventive measures for common age-related disease. And last one is examine factors affecting social inclusion, employment and financial security. This is
The methodology. Our research group has employed the online survey with 64 participants to answer 14 structured questions and the interview with 5 individuals to talk, total 12 questions. The total participants have various social backgrounds, which is meaningful to their study. In our survey findings, the major participants are from China and Malaysia, like this graph. And the social background, like different ages, races, or job position of participants are showing the diversity. The next useful finding is people are more concerned about the physical health and financial difficulties in aging society. And the current elder care system is showing the unsatisfaction to major participants, like this graph. The whole society has negative attitude to aged people, as about 47% and over 30% participants have no financial plan. Our researchers have made deep conversations with employees and university students. The aging society related topics have been discussed, like dementia, cybercrime, government pension fund, young employee opportunities, imbalanced social wealth distribution, and social costs.
To discuss the above-mentioned issues with philosophical thinkings, and we try to find appropriate solution based on our discussions. We choose 5 different philosophy branches to discuss aging society. These are philosophy in the East, logic, psychology, sociology, and ideology. Philosophy in Latin is called philosophia, which means the love of wisdom. Eastern philosophy is the rise of philosophy in Asia, which is known as Asian philosophy. Like Islamic philosophy, Buddhism and Hinduism in Malaysia, as well as Confucianism, Taoism and Buddhism, which is popular in China. For Confucianism and Taoism in China, youngsters need to show filial piety to parents for ethical purposes. Taoism, like Wu Wei and Yin Yang, are lecturing all Chinese to treat others with kindness, fairness, politeness. Therefore, society also needs to pay attention to emerging issues.
In the aging society, locals is used to make the right decisions to protect elderly rights and welfare. In China, the government has did a great job on elder facilities care, but it still needs to be improved in investigating the potential issues, especially in rural areas. In Malaysia, not only the government but the private sector like Sunway Hospital has introduced their free-charge elder care program to protect the elder welfare in a logical way. People should have their own choice to decide whether to continue work with the near the retirement age. Other solution to find new type of government loan for the young people who are already under the pressures of all kinds of debt.
More importantly, the spirit of unity has been emphasized by Malaysian Rukun Negara. Muslim elders in Malaysia can continue to pursue the meaning of happiness of the life because of the fundamental perspective of idealism. To extend, the whole nation should be in consideration to promote female power in the workplace that can ease the young household burden given by worsening economic conditions. The reform of the current education mode by employing online education programs for children can more effectively utilize the opportunity for females and child students. A special consultant should be established for the social aiding, like the law aid on court. It is creating convenience for Malaysian elders because these are popular places for elders to avoid complex transportation routes in cities, instead of simply sending money on the pension amount, which also faces an equal opportunity issue. It can be elder group travel, elder learning institution. On the other hand, the aging society issue can be discussed from the perspective of the traditional civilization and socialism in China. To employ Zongyang in real practices, the young generation and the old generation are used to show respect to each other by requiring others lecturing. This can be done via live streaming and mixed with offline gatherings, which can be initiated by university students. The local governments can also support the building costs, and the rest can be divided on the accounts of individuals in the neighborhood.
Ideology has usually been linked with politics. The more familiar types of ideology can be said to be socialism, anarchism, and liberalism. In the present day, however, ideologies such as postmodernism and neoliberalism have been promoted by developed nations around the world. The peaceful evolution global strategy has corrupted the way of how people think or appreciate. In an aging society, the philosophy of Sajahendra explains the complexion of aging issues by interpreting the topic under a few aspects. Each individual should appreciate and cherish every single moment to enjoy.
Such as the fertility rate and the decline of household incomes on the macro level, intergenerational conflicts, and the undeveloped elder care system on the micro level. In the end, the suggested practical solutions have been provided within the analysis of research. Suggestions like the rise of female power and common prosperity ideas should be promoted in real practices. New opportunity coexist with the challenge for the whole society to overcome.